The movie begins in a hospice for cancer patients located in New York. The group is sitting for a discussion, and Sam, one of the patients, reads a poem about how the place is bad. Everyone fell silent, but the caretaker, Ruben, tried to clap to ease the awkwardness. Later, Ruben thanked Sam for sharing but disapproved of her making fun of other patients, which Sam brushes off. He then told her that they were going to the theater to watch a show. Sam shows disinterest, but he mentioned they would go to the city to convince her to join him. She told him she would go with him only if they got pizza, and he agreed. So she went to her room to get ready, along with her cat, Frodo. In her room, Sam took out her iPad and listened to music while changing. She then went to the bus with Frodo. When they reached the city, she and the other patients, along with Ruben, entered the theater. As they were walking in, Sam saw that it was a puppet show and blamed Ruben for tricking her, but she went in anyway. After they were seated, a little boy looked at Frodo with interest, and she introduced him to the cat. Shortly after, the show began. Sam seemed to enjoy it at first, but quickly got upset when one of the puppets fell during the performance. Sam got up and left the theater. Outside, Ruben told Sam that they had to go back because he received a call saying something was happening in the city. Sam insisted they get pizza before returning, but he told her they would do that some other day. This angered Sam, and she started screaming at him, saying she wanted pizza. After a lot of back and forth, Ruben, trying to defuse the situation, said he was just trying to be a friend. Sam coldly replied that they weren't friends and he was just a nurse before boarding the bus. Everyone boarded, and the bus started moving, but Sam then noticed the other patients huddled at the back of the bus. She got up from her seat to look as meteors started falling from the sky. The bus was suddenly hit, and Sam fell. When she got up, everything was chaos. In the dust-covered area, Sam tried to walk, but people kept getting snatched by aliens. A police officer saw her and told her to take cover, but he too was taken. In the midst of the chaos, Sam was thrown against a wall and knocked unconscious. Sam wakes up gasping, but Henry quickly covers her mouth to silence her. She is in a shelter, and Henry takes her to Ruben. They hug, and he gives her Frodo. Sam hugs Frodo, but suddenly they hear a military broadcast message instructing everyone to stay put, which also helps to draw the aliens away from civilians. At this moment, Frodo runs free from Sam, and she follows to catch him. Frodo accidentally brushes past a bell, attracting an alien. The alien bursts through the doors, but Sam and Ruben remain silent, avoiding detection. When another broadcast message is heard from outside, the alien runs out toward the noise. Sam then went to the bathroom to clean up. As she got out, she saw a woman writing down messages from the radio when they suddenly heard a loud banging noise. Sam ran to see what it was and saw aircraft bombing nearby areas. Outside on the roof, Sam, Ruben, and Henry witness as the military bombs bridges, preventing any way in and out of the city. Seeing this, one man from the group started shouting that they were all going to die. Henri tried to calm him down, but the man wouldn't stop, so Henri had to knock him out. Later that night, as Ruben and Sam were sitting together, Sam wrote in a notebook, saying that she was going to Harlem to get pizza from Patsy's. Ruben smiled, thinking she was joking, but when he realized she was serious, he said no. As they were discussing this, a backup generator turned on and started making noise. Ruben ran to shut it off, and while he succeeded, his shirt got caught on something and ripped. The noise was enough to attract an alien, which quickly killed Ruben. Sam covered her mouth to prevent any sound from escaping. In the morning, Sam takes Frodo and starts heading to the supermarket to pick up some supplies. She gathers what she needs and continues walking through the devastated city. She sits down somewhere, opens a can of food as quietly as possible, and feeds Frodo. As she sits there, Sam notices two kids and walks over to them. She gives them some candy. They overhear a military broadcast announcing that boats on the south side of the city are taking survivors, as the creatures cannot swim. The aliens followed the sound, and Sam and the kids hid in the basement. As Sam was about to go up after they passed, she was nearly knocked out by a metal stair that fell and blocked the entrance. Sam and the kids quietly got out of the basement and saw people walking toward the south side. Sam told the kids to go with the crowd heading for the rescue boats. She then walked in the opposite direction of the crowd. The crowd was large, and some people were carrying luggage with wheels, which made noise. After a while, the sound attracted the aliens, causing more chaos. People panicked, and Sam fell to the ground, nearly getting trampled before hiding under a car. She was almost crushed beneath it, but managed to get to safety just in time. Sam sat leaning against a wall when Frodo ran off, chasing a rat. He eventually found a puddle of water and started drinking from it. From the water, another survivor, Eric, emerged and saw Frodo. When Frodo started moving again, Eric followed him and eventually reached where Sam was. Sam got up and kept walking, but Eric followed her. She told him to stop following her, but he continued nonetheless. It began to rain heavily, but they kept moving. Sam then stopped to ask him his name, knowing their voices would be hidden by the sound of the rain. He told her his name was Eric, and she told him again to stop following her and to head south toward the boats. Eric, too confused and in shock to know what to do, continued following Sam, so she decided to let him tag along. Sam and Eric went to Sam's apartment. She told him to kick down the door, and he waited for a thunderclap to mask the noise before kicking it. Once inside, Sam took her pain medication. Sam then asked if he had family there, and he told her that he had come to the city for law school. She told him he should go to the boats. When he asked where she was going, she replied that she was going to get pizza. He agreed to go with her, but she told him she was going alone. Eric found a book of poetry Sam had written, and also learned that Sam's dad used to play the piano. Sam then gave him another poem, which he read, becoming emotional as he did so. As lightning and thunder struck, the two let out cathartic screams, releasing their pent-up emotions. The next morning, Sam left the apartment while Eric was still sleeping. She went to the library with Frodo. She heard a noise from behind and, fearing it was an alien, turned around, but it was just Eric. He handed her a notebook, and she put it in her bag. As she got up, she accidentally knocked over some books, causing a loud noise. They quickly left the library and headed to a nearby building, but the door was stuck on something. While trying to open it, they made more noise, attracting the aliens. They were chased through the building, but Eric managed to distract the aliens by throwing a rock at a car and triggering its alarm. Sam and Eric then made their way into the subway tunnels and walked through the sewers. They had to walk slowly since the sewer was filled with water. As they were walking, they spotted an alien on the roof. Sam tried to calm Eric, who was having a sudden breakdown. He managed to pull himself together, but the noise they made attracted the alien, forcing them to swim as fast as possible. The alien couldn't swim, so it drowned when it entered the water. Eric got out of the water and pulled Sam and Frodo out. They found a way up and emerged in a church. Shortly after, Sam lost consciousness. When Sam regained consciousness, water came out of her mouth. Eric then wrote down a question, asking what medication she needed, and showed it to her. After getting the information, he went out to get her meds. He reached the pharmacy and started looking around, checking the list. Suddenly, a sound startled him, but it was only Frodo. He picked up the meds and headed back with Frodo. As they were walking on the streets, Frodo ran off, and Eric followed him. They encountered an alien, but Eric sat still and kept silent. Eric then went to where Frodo was. The alien started eating, while Eric slowly approached Frodo, but he accidentally made a sound, which provoked the alien. However, he managed to remain silent, and the alien went back. Eric then picked up Frodo and returned to Sam with the meds. He gave her the meds and sat next to her. Sam, feeling weak and sick, began telling him about how her father used to take her to a jazz club to watch piano performances, and afterward, they would go to Patsy's for pizza. When Eric asked what happened to her father, she told him that he had passed away. The next morning, Eric and Sam went to Patsy's, but they saw that it had burned down. Seeing this, Sam broke down in tears and sat on the ground, crying. Eric went to her and hugged her, trying to comfort her. Afterward, they went to the jazz club, and Eric left to find pizza elsewhere. Sam sat at the piano. Eric eventually found another place that sold pizza. He took a marker and wrote Patsy's on the box, bringing it back to her. After they ate, he then pulled her up and started doing a card trick to entertain her. Sam also played along as if they were performing for an audience. After the card trick, Sam was smiling and impressed. Sam and Eric saw the boats in the distance. Sam gave Eric her jacket, and they decided to head toward the boats. By the shore, aliens were scattered all around, but they couldn't enter the water due to their inability to swim. Sam and Eric slowly and quietly approached the water. As they got closer, Eric began to have a panic attack, but Sam managed to calm him down. She then gave Eric Frodo and told him to run. She got up from their hiding place, grabbed a crowbar, and began smashing car windows, triggering alarms. Henry, who was on the boat and heard the commotion, gave the order to stop the boat. All the aliens in the area started running toward the noise, and Eric ran toward the boat. However, he accidentally hit a can on the ground, drawing the aliens' attention toward him. The aliens began chasing him, and Eric ran as fast as he could. Just as the aliens were about to reach him, he jumped into the water, barely escaping them. Sam smiled, relieved that he made it. Eric swam to the boat and got in safely. Henry took Frodo and gave him a blanket. Sam went back to the jazz club and sat in the debris-filled room. She looked at old pictures of her father and herself while crying. As Eric sat on the boat, he found a note in the pocket of the jacket Sam had given him. In the note, she gave him instructions on how to take care of her cat, Frodo. She warned him not to touch Frodo's belly because he doesn't like it. She then thanked Eric for bringing her back to her home and for making her feel alive again. Eric laughed and cried as he read the note. Meanwhile, Sam walked out onto the streets, holding a tape player with music playing through her earphones. When she reached the middle of the street, she unplugged the earphones, and the music filled the air. The movie concludes as aliens surround Sam, drawn to the sound of the music. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.